Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Dance Teacher Potential channel. We are so happy to have you here. Today, we are talking about how to give an effective dance class for 2-year-olds. So, 2-year-olds are tiny, they are young, and their experience with the world is very limited. Especially now, we are coming out from a pandemic, and those babies have been with their parents potentially 24/7, and they have not gone to daycare. I mean, some have, some haven't. So they are especially attached and need to feel safe once they come into your classroom. And not only that, they have not experienced any um, class with structure, any structure with a stranger is telling them what to do and they need to follow, or they need to wait for their turn. And so it's very, very important that you go into a 2-year-old class and are incredibly patient, are incredibly in tune of what's happening with the room, and very well prepared with all of your dance teacher tools to make the class as efficient, effective, and fun for them and for you as possible. So we have experienced how a well-structured class is essential. So for a 2-year-old class, you want to have shorter blocks of time where they are focusing on a specific activity, and then you want to reset the room and switch the activity, because it's hard for them. It's not like the older levels where we can continue the imagination and continue to talk and continue into another imagination exercise and then another one and then another one, because they are tiny and they potentially are not understanding fully what's going on. And so having things that they can see and touch is one of the tools that we can tell you you can have. So having a section with an obstacle course will break the flow of your class, and then we'll give them a specific section to focus on, and then you show what's happening on the obstacle course. You can have scarves, and that is a completely different exercise, or you can also play with music, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what you said, you touched on a little bit about making them feel safe, because they felt safe so long with their adult and their grown up. And now they don't feel safe with you, they don't know you. Um, so I think it's really important that you really try to build those connections with those kids so that separation will be easier. Maybe the parents then won't have to be in the classrooms, you won't have those tears, um, because they'll feel safe with you and they can trust you, and that's ultimately what's more important. But yes, blocks of the structure is essential. I've gone in and I've done where I've just played my action songs, went straight through my playlist, and there was no really like moments of calm and moments of like, okay, this is now what's happening, so there was no really break in their brains, and it just sort of turned into chaos and students running around because it was their first class and they didn't understand what was happening already in a dance class. And I didn't give them that opportunity, to sit them down in a circle, start off, go through my rituals, mostly because I was nervous, because I hadn't taught a tiny tots class in so long. But I think really having those sections of, okay, this is what's going to happen and then we're going to move into this, sort of keeping those transitions we had talked about in a previous video, so that they really start to understand, okay, this is the flow, instead of every time going in and being like, oh, we're going through this whole new list of action songs and them never knowing what to expect.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think um, thinking about that structure and those blocks to re-engage. So think that you are re-engaging with them and then being consistent and incredibly patient.
Yeah.
So I cannot tell you enough how patient you are going to have to be with them and with yourself. And, I think many times I've spoken to the teachers, and I think with teachers, you come in and you want to, give this class, and honestly, and are worried if you have a runner, so a child that just ran the entire class or cried the entire class or sat down and wanted to watch the entire class because they weren't ready to participate. I think as teachers, it makes you nervous that either you didn't do a good job, or the child didn't have a good time, or the parent is going to be really upset because you didn't do a good job and the child's not having a good time. But the reality I think is that as parents, your expectations for your 2-year-olds, the majority of the parents are not, they don't want to see them come in and do 3 pirouettes and,
Right.
blitz the first day. They just want them to have fun and to have a little community and to be able to engage with other um, children and with a new teacher. And so I think to keep that in mind every single time you're teaching little ones, little ones, is very, very important. And then, that will give you a sense of calmness to help you just continue to do your structure every single time, so that then they're like, oh, this is when she brings out the scarves. This is what we do with the
Yeah.
scarves. Oh, this is when she tells me to sit next to the mirror because she's going to set up my obstacle course. Oh, this is when we sit in a circle and we sing Twinkle, Twinkle Star, or, Itsy Bitsy Spider. It takes time for them. And so for you to keep those blocks short, to re-engage them, but also keep them consistent, to give them safety and to give them the routine and to give them consistency will be essential. And, and things that we've talked about in the past, with little ones, you need to make sure you're not too bright and too big, because that's been one of my mistakes. I'm like incredibly excited and loud most of the times when I'm meeting people and speaking to students, and sometimes I forget that the little ones are tender. They're like scared still about the world. And so getting low and changing your voice, because for sure I've made a few of them just like startle them, and then I'm like, whoa, and they started crying and they haven't even gone into class, and that's just because I was excited. And so remembering, that they're little, and you just, like you said, they need to connect with you and understand that you are going to take care of them as well, and you are a safe person, so
Yeah.
that they can engage with you fully in class.
Absolutely. And I don't think we're saying, take away the action songs completely, right? I think they can be a great tool. Maybe picking one action song at the end of your class, or maybe somewhere in between if that's the flow that you like, and doing that for a few weeks and then switching into a different accent song, so they can sort of grasp the concept that you're trying to get across, before they transition into a whole different
Totally.
field. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think action songs are very effective with little ones, because I think potentially that's the only way they've interacted with the world of dance or with the music. Like maybe they've heard them at home, and that's how the parents sing to the little ones. And so including them in your classroom is definitely um, important, and it would be good. But not just a stream of them where there's a never ending action song and they're like, what is happening?
From one thing to the next, and they're like, I can't take it. I'm
Totally.
overwhelmed.
Yes. We talked, now that you say that, we've talked before, just make sure that the sound for little ones is not too loud, because they can get overwhelmed. And so sometimes your voice needs to be higher and the music gets higher, and they're just not connecting. And it could be that it's very loud. So just keep in mind to keep your volume low
Yeah.
or lower
Yeah.
potentially. Yeah.
And just stay
Oh,
calm. Have a backup plan. Write out your class if you need. I don't think parents mind if you have a little piece of paper next to you and just glance at it. Okay, this is what comes next, especially if it's your first
mhm.
time really teaching that age. Just to keep you calm, and like you're also safe in that space, and it's gonna be okay. Like, no matter what happens, it's gonna be okay if you can keep your composure, and just say, okay, that didn't work. We're gonna just easily transition into this next thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Yeah.
I
Awesome.
think that's all we have time for today. Thanks for joining us on our weekly tip. We are Dance Teacher Potential. We have a teacher training course, which we are very excited about, where we'll give you everything you need to really unlock your best dance teacher potential. Um, it's a lot of fun. We're going to leave that information in our bio. Make sure you like and subscribe because we post every week our best tips and tricks. Um, Comment below if you want to see us talk about anything. We'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments, your concerns. And I think that's it.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Bye.